Hey, welcome to another Backyard Professor Chess video. It's early Sunday morning and I thought, you know what? I might even be able to get 2 videos in today. That'd be kind of fun. I'm going to share a game with you that is, and really truly, I know I sound like a broken record, but this game really is a sensational game to once again reinforce a very important concept in the overall fundamental strategy that we can do to improve our games. And that's what my videos are trying to do, is share with you what I'm learning so that I can improve my chess. And I honestly think, because I'm taking the Grandmaster's words at themselves when they say, if you want to improve your chess, study Grandmaster chess games, right? This principle, once again, to place the emphasis, is so important that by the end of this video, I'm going to do a dramatic thing in this video with this game just to emphasize the critical aspect that I want to see and share with you. Because when you really see what it's doing, it is breathtaking. And there is not a grandmaster on this planet who would disagree. Even beginners, intermediates, and grandmasters make this mistake, as we are about to see. It's something we need to keep in our minds constantly while we're playing our chess. This is a game by Gilgardo Garcia. He's rated at 2449, and his opponent in the black is Joshua Collis. He is rated 2400. This was played at the U.S. Masters Tournament in 2012. I got this book out of my Chess Life magazine for December 2012. They open with a Sicilian Defense. Garcias is the white. And they open with a typical Sicilian. The pawn comes up, e6 the d4, the c takes the d4, the knight takes the d4, and we're on our way into the Sicilian, and then the a6. So this is a typical Sicilian. He's going to bump up his other knight. And now Collis is really claiming the queenside. This is probably why, and again, it's one of our favorite kinds of games to watch, a great kingside attack, right? But this is probably why Garcias, he saw Collis is not monkeying around. He doesn't want Garcias to put much emphasis on the queenside, so he does go to the kingside. So this is going to be basically the essence of the game. And Garcia keeps going, and so does Collis. Nice long diagonal of that bishop, very important. Garcia does castle, and Collis again, another move to, and at this point, I mean, you know, when I was playing through this game, I thought, well, is he trying to castle queenside? I don't think so, because of his dramatic claim on the queenside. He's pushing, he's gaining more space so that he can move his pieces better, but it's unlikely I would castle on that side. So I don't think that's what he's trying to do. Garcia, just after castling, does put a rook on the e. When we do this as beginners, what we need to do is carry it through all the way. We're not just moving the rook to help develop the piece. What we want the rook to do is be on an open file. Now, it's not open yet. This one is a potential file for either player, black or white. It's not open yet, but the white pawn is gone for Garcia. So if he can bang a rook into this later on in the game, he will have an open file. But since Garcia is going to go to the king side, it makes sense that he wants a file closer to the king side, right? So this is the prelude to getting that open file. And Callas also continues to bring out his pieces one by one, hitting the center. Garcia decides he wants to keep his knights, so he's going to come down here to f3 with the knight. Now both are really well developed. They're both claiming good territory. To me, at this point in time, really truly, the blacks' bishops really look strong, don't they? They are just sweeping across the entire board. So both players have to play carefully. They're still kind of in the beginning stages of putting two and two together. Now Callas does this. Now that's a, you know, he's got his queen out. He isn't castled yet, but he's got a solid center. Now it's a small center, you know, but that is a really good, a good-looking setup for both of them. Garcia immediately goes toward the center. He truly does. Notice how he wants to open this file for this rook. As black, you really wouldn't want to close the center. Yes, your pawn is being threatened. You know he wants to open up the center. Yes, you know he wants the open file. But look at how this severely cramps that magnificent bishop. At this point in time, simply because your bishops are more active, they're placed on better squares, they're further developed, you wouldn't want to cramp it by pushing that pawn. And so Callas takes the pawn. The next move. But this is how Garcia opened up that file. And his knight, that he's moved 3 times now, however, he's on a really good central square, is well developed. At this point, although he is moving him around a lot, that's true. Callas continue bringing out his other knight, begin working on the king side so that he can castle kingside. So we're seeing a decent, a pretty good development. Bishop g5. Garcia is coming on to the king side at this point. And the bishop now, Callas appears to me that he's playing too softly. He can't apparently quite figure out the best square, the best way to utilize his bishop pair. So he's moving this bishop back and forth quite a bit. On the other hand, though, so is Garcia with his knight. So he does have, I don't think he's playing it as strong. And then Garcia drops down the bishop. In time, Callas has to pay attention now. You would have to be sharp in this position because he could put a discovery on the queen. If Callas isn't careful, he could find himself with this knight taking this pawn, beating up the kingside pawns, and threatening his queen so he could get away with it. Something simple like that, right? Just an idea. He's putting his bishop across from a queen that could be a good lever for him later on if he needs it. And Callas again brings out his bishop. He is trying to find the best place, but you'll notice the effectiveness of his bishops. Yes, he's pointing to the king side. He's covering that entire strip on the middle of the board, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything with them, right? It's almost like he's still trying to piece it together and figure it out. And pow. This is a powerful centralizing move on the knight. It puts that knight closer to the kingside. This is going to be a solid kingside attack. Garcia has definitely stated, I'm coming to the kingside. He does hit into that bishop with that knight, and so Callas takes that knight. The knights can be used as battering rams in a kingside attack. To have two of them on the kingside is pretty tough to fight against. So he's going to exchange the knights down. Garcia retakes the knight, centralizing both his bishops. The nice thing about this is now Garcia challenges this magnificent bishop's diagonal across. Callas sees that. It is probably weaker if he was to move back. No, I haven't looked at a computer analysis. I'm just looking at this by myself. Instead, he does take the bishop. Perhaps computer analysis will show Callas should not have exchanged. I don't know. At this point, I'm just showing you the game. So, the bishop takes it, and the bishop takes it, and now Garcia, using his rook on his open file, that's good chess. Pow. Not only does it centralize the rook, it completely, structurally, physically influences the center with three really good pieces, plus the queen on the file. Now, normally, queens don't like to go to open files because the rooks will dare challenge them. Rooks belong on open files. At this point, though, there is nothing wrong with that queen on that open file. That also helps dominate the kingside attack coming up. You'll notice Callas just has not gotten anything going on the queenside, has he? He did good for preventing Garcia to come into the kingside, but Garcia hasn't shown any inclination to do that, has he? He's been completely comfortable working here in the center, whittling away the really wonderful influence of some of the longer pieces of Garcia, and he's inching toward the kingside. And the reason I can say that at this point is because Callas castled. Finally, he really does have to castle. Sincerely. Now, here's what I want to do to give you a dramatic illustration of what happens when you do not use all your pieces in a game. He has been monkeying around with the bishop. And I say monkeying around, I don't mean to insult the man. I truly don't. But he never really got, he could whip me any day of the year, right? But he never did get his bishop combined with a queen or a knight. He never brought them down and attacked with them. And he never, ever used those two pieces in this game. Now, the game's not over. These are just decoration. So, I'm going to take them off the board right now. And that is what Callas has. This is the effect of not using your pieces. Every one of them. In each game. So, instead of being a decoration, that's what Callas faced. And you can begin to see why it was this is such a basic mistake, and Callas is 2400, so even the masters and grandmasters need to keep it in mind of always develop every single piece in the battle. truly seriously. So it's not something just we beginners need to keep in mind. And I'm not criticizing him, I'm simply observing. And the dramatic way to observe it is take those pieces completely off the board right now and keep playing the game, which is what I'm going to do. Now, Garcia comes queen to f3. Now look at this board. Sincerely, look at this board. It is a kingside attack. You can literally split the board down the middle on that open file, and all of white's pieces are on this side, and all except the rook of black's pieces are on this side. That is very interesting, because the black pieces should be coming over here, but they're not. They're being chased and kept at bay over there. It's very interesting to see this. Queen does come to d8, trying to move in, and what does Garcia masterfully do here? Seriously. Rook. Where does he put it? On the open file. Challenging the queen. So now Callas, the move before putting his queen in, now he has to move her again out of danger, and he puts her here on b6. Right? Well, you can see the game is over. Really sincerely. For all intents and purposes, this game is over. How he does it is somewhat pretty, kind of nice to see. Bishop h6. And you go, oh, wow, that is a power move, man. Now, Callas, the bishop is perfectly safe here on h6 because Callas can't retake with that pawn. There's no way. And this is something as beginners and sometimes intermediates, when we're playing the game, while we're playing the game, we see that kind of move and we go, yeah, but that's them. I wouldn't dare do it. Just a little bit of calculation will show, though, why you can dare to do it. If he does take the bishop, look at how that opens up the king. Again, by attacking the king side, you get rid, or you force these pawns in front of the king to either take a piece or to move forward, which brings on weaknesses. This is a very good way to kingside attack. Now he's got the rook. Check. And if the king goes away to h8, you bring the queen up, checkmate. So you can see Callas is in trouble. It's a very effective setup that he can put a piece here and really give pressure to Callas's kingside pawns. Garcia is doing an exceptional job here. What do you do if you're Callas? He brings the bishop up to d6 at this point. And now notice this. Garcia now brings his queen up to here. Ooh, that is a power move. Now, rather than doing it this way, because obviously this is going to be a queen sacrifice, right? He's sacrificing his queen. Instead of doing it that way, Garcia could have taken the pawn with the bishop. And the king can't just leave that bishop there. You see why? Because if Garcia was to pull a rook over there, then it's mate and one, right? He just simply pulls the bishop back and it's checkmate. So Callas would have to have had to have taken that bishop, and then we see the familiar theme. Rook over to g4, check, right? And if the king was to bump out to h8, the queen comes to here, checkmate, right? Or from this position, if the king was to try to get out into the open so that he had more escape squares, that doesn't work either, because now the queen simply goes over to h3. again, checkmate. It's a tough position that Collis is in here. But Garcia did not take the pawn with the bishop as he could have. He wanted to go out with a little bit more flair and drama. And so he popped his queen up to here. And of course the sacrifice, you have to take the queen because otherwise the queen just takes the pawn and there's checkmate, right? So he does sacrifice the queen. And G does take the pawn. And then we have the familiar rook to G4 theme. This way though it played out, the way this particular one played out, was the king bumped over into the corner and the bishop came up and put the king in check, right? And then the king moved over to G, and then the bishop came back and took the pawn. Checkmate. Here is the theme that I have tried to attempt to give a little bit more emphasis in a different kind of way. Collis never got those two powers into the game. Pieces. I keep calling them powers and it drives my critics completely nuts. They are correct. Any man who calls the pieces powers does not know how to play chess. Any man who calls the knight a horse or a horsey while he's having fun is a complete blithering moron. He doesn't know one gosh dang thing about chess. My critics are completely correct. So, for the time being, however, let me move on because this theme is crucial. And there is not a grandmaster on the planet who will disagree with this theme. It is best, hear me out, it really is best if you utilize all of your pieces in every game. This is another wonderful example of that. This was not a couple of 6- and 7-year-old kids in the mall playing chess while their parents were shopping for Christmas. This was a 2440 rated player, Garcia, and a 2400 rated player, Collis. They have been around the block. But perhaps it was just such, it is such a simple thing. Really? It really is. You must bring all your pieces. Garcia did, and we saw the incredible power that that gave him. All the way from open files to kingside attacks to being able to put pieces in danger, undermining the king's base with impunity. A coordination of the knight, the bishop, the rook, the queen. That's fantastic chess. He was able to put that together because he put every piece in that game. Unfortunately for Collis, he didn't. And let that lesson sink deep in your hearts. He lost because he was 2 powers down the whole game. He just didn't know it. He did not recognize that he began the game 2 powers down, a rook and a knight. If you don't utilize your material, it's not there. It does you no good. Now this is the second game that I have found that shows this theme so beautifully. I'm not going to keep harping on this. I just think a couple of illustrations from very superb grandmasters. Seriously, last time we saw Nunn and Sokolov. This time we see Garcia and Collis, and it is the same theme. One of the grandmasters did not utilize all his pieces, and the other grandmaster had a sensational option and chance and success at getting to the opponent's king. So there's your Backyard Professor Chess video. Thanks for watching my videos. Have fun, be good, do well, be good to each other, be delightful, go Christmas shopping, share some help with those in need this Christmas year. Let's, we're working in the soup kitchen, things like that. Help out folks, help people have a better Christmas, and in the meantime, you have a great day, and I will be back with another Backyard Professor Chess video just as soon as I can. Thanks.